Hello everybody. Ooh, let me zoom out here a little bit. I'm a little bit zoomed in. Let's see here. Better. How is everybody today? Good to see you all. Let me see if I have any comments yet. Let me know who's here, where you're from. Hi Denise, how are you? Let's see. Hi Nedra. I'm just waiting to see if anyone else hops on. How are you all today? What are you all up to? There's a couple more people joining. I missed you all last week, but sometimes things just get away from me and I get a bit overwhelmed and I need to take a little break. And I had some appointments that I could only schedule on a Wednesday and I don't know, but I'm glad to be back today and to show you a project I've made based on this cute box here. So we'll just wait and see if anyone else hops on. And yeah, it's a lovely day here in Sacramento. We seem to, it cools down a little bit and we think fall is here and then it heats up again and we think, oh, summer's still here. So, but can't complain. It's lovely. Can have the doors and windows open in the morning and the evening. And although I think we have a little critter living under our deck in our backyard, and not such a desirable critter. I was watching out the window, I just happened to glance out the window, I saw movement out of my nook sliding doors. I saw movement and I thought, well, that's not a squirrel. I saw this bushy tail and I thought that's not a squirrel because it was a black and white tail. So you know what it was? It was a skunk disappearing under our deck. So I'm kind of nervous to go out in the backyard at the moment. I don't know if it's living under, my husband said it's probably living under there and sleeping under there during the day. We've had one in the neighborhood that we've seen in the backyard a couple of times, and we've seen outside when we've been walking in the evening, but it's taken residence under our deck apparently, so that's not too good. We have my book club at my house tonight, and I'm nervous about, I was going to sit outside because it's so nice, but I thought, oh no, what if the skunk comes out while we're there? So I don't know, what should I do? Does anyone had any experience with skunks? I know. Anyone had any experience? Anyone can give me any advice? I don't know if it'll just, I mean, it may have been living under there for a while and we've not known about it and it's not bothered us, but I'm a bit nervous. And I think, I don't know. All right, so Denise says, I saw these boxes at Joanne's, just don't know what I would put in it and what I would put, where you would put it. Well, Denise, so I'm kind of with you. I'm a bit of a sucker for really pretty boxes, and I thought this one was just beautiful. And I bought it thinking, oh, I can make, it reminded me of the decorative masks that we have. And then I thought, I bet I could find something to put in it. But then I remembered one of my really good friends, her birthday's in November, in a couple of weeks. And she loves sunflowers. So I thought maybe I would, and I'll show you the card that I made to go with it in a minute. And I thought, and I was going to see actually what some of your ideas were, what I could put in it to give her. It's about, let me see what it measures. They had different size ones too, but this one was kind of a good in-between size. So it's about 8 inches wide, by about 5.5 inches, and then it's about 4.5 inches tall. So 8 by 5.5 by 4.5. So it's a pretty good size. The inside's really pretty. The inside is like the other box, the outside of the other box, the smaller one. Now that smaller one of my team said that she got one and she put her ribbon in it. It worked really well for ribbon. But this is definitely bigger. But I might put some tissue paper and I could put some homemade cards in, or a candle, or some coffee, or I don't know. you have to give me ideas what I could put in. And Denise says her dog got sprayed several times. Yeah, our dog never got sprayed. And I think it's because we don't have a dog at the moment that we have this skunk under our deck. So I think if we had a dog, you know, the skunk would have stayed away. We need to borrow my grand dog to Odie to get rid of it. But anyway, stay tuned. So anyway, I will show you in a minute the card that I made to go with this. I'm pretty excited about how it turned out, but just keep you in suspense a little bit longer. I was thinking, what else can I show you today? What else do I have new? So and my paper pumpkins, does anyone do paper pumpkin? My paper pumpkin has not arrived yet, but I've been seeing everyone's online and they are so cute, the cards this time. But I do have a new kit to show you. So if you haven't seen this, and I haven't opened it, I just grabbed the box before I went live thinking, oh yes, let's look at the kit. So this is a non-stamping kit, it's brand new, and it's called Rustic Christmas Countdown. So let's take a look, shall we? And I think, I can't remember how much this is. $21 or something maybe, or maybe less actually. Might be less because it's a non-stamping one. But anyway, so the idea is that you can make it as an advent calendar or a banner. There's lots of things actually you could do with it. But so you get these cute little clothespins, and if you didn't even use them on the project, they're kind of handy for all kinds of other things. And then let's take a look. So like I say, I literally have not opened it yet. So let's take it out and have a look, because I like to show you them and that you can decide if you think it, because it's hard to see in the pictures, isn't it? And you can decide if this is something you might like. So you'll have to let me know too. I've got a new, this is this grey background that you're seeing is a big silicone pad. So I'm trying this out. I was not, you know, my wood desk, it's very warm in colour, and I feel like sometimes I don't really like how it looks on the video. So I've been trying some different things. So let me know if you like this grey background. And I was thinking it would be nice and it wouldn't be distracting. And I was thinking it'd be nice and easy to clean off. And it also provides a little bit of padding when I do stamping. So you'll have to let me know what you think, and I'll try it for a few weeks and see how I like it. So anyway, we've got dimensionals, and also it's not so reflective because I've got a light up above that shines down and it's not so reflective. So we've got 25, I'm guessing, bags, and it looks like there's two different designs. So there's this one that has the kind of little canvasy or burlappy look, and then this one that has like a bit of a design on it. It's like a knit. I don't know if you can see. It's like a cable knit design. I think it might be a bit tricky to see. There you go. So you get 25 of those, and these are pretty sturdy. They're card, and they fold it over like this, and then you can use the clothespin, and you could fit a gift card, you could fit some candy, like a lip balm, some money, or just like a little note, cute little note. Yeah, there's a few things you could put. So you get 25 of those, and then let's see what else. And then some twine. So red, looks like cherry cobbler and like a kind of a crumb cake, and the cherry cobbler is a little bit wider. It's about 1/8 of an inch wide. And then we've got some red jewels, rhinestones, which is always good. And there's lots of them too, a ton. So, and then here are the numbers that go onto your, oh, and there's different ones. So these are round ones. Let me pop one out so you can see what they look like. So those are the round ones. So you get some round. Oh, look, there's all different ones. Some round, some rectangular. Let's put one of these out. And then some different foil ones. Two different shapes of those. Bows and leaves. So let's pop a bow out. It's a bow and leaves. And poinsettias. These are pretty. I'll show you the instructions in a minute. We can see what we're supposed to be doing with all these. But those are pretty, aren't they? They've got gold in the middle. And then, ooh, holly leaves. They're much prettier when they're popped out than they look. Oh, like double holly leaves. Those are pretty. And berries. I won't pop those out because they're kind of small. And then, oh my gosh, look, there's so many different things. These are kind of like, almost like doilies. And don't forget, you can also use, once you've popped all these things out, you can use these as like stencils. So you could do some sponging in the background of something and make something completely new with these. Sky's the limit. Glue dots, lots of glue dots, more doilies, and look how pretty these are. I'm not going to pop them out because they're kind of delicate, but look at those lovely kind of sprigs. I don't know what you call them. There's loads, look. This is a fun kit. This would be really fun to do with your kids or your grandkids, or just in front of the TV. All right, so that's all the bits. Now let's look at the instructions and see what they're supposed to look like. So you can see here they've hung them like a banner, starting with 1 up to 25. But I also saw one of the marketing flyers, I think, where they put them on the tree with the clothespins. And oh, let's see, I've got some comments. Tanya says, homemade pepper spray, make some and carefully spray it along their path. Oh, for the skunk. That's a good idea. I might try that. Spray some around the deck. And Nedra says she likes the grey background. Yay, good. All right, so yeah, you could put them on your tree, or you could just, if you didn't want to use, I wonder what the back of the little tags look like, because you could maybe stamp something else on the back of these. If you didn't want to use the numbers, yeah, they're just white. So if you didn't want to use the numbers and just leave them as little gifts for your colleagues on their desks, or you know, what'd be fun to do is to leave them with, you know, the people that do what's the elf thing, elf on the shelf. It would be cute to put one of these with the elf every day, wouldn't it? You could stand it up, you know, with the elf with its arms around it. That would be really cute. And you could just stamp something else on the back of these if you didn't want to use the numbers, or you could still use the numbers. So anyway, I think there's loads of things you can do with these. Your kids would have fun making them with you, or you could make them for your kids. So you can see on the, they all have different things on them. Some of them have the reeds and some have the poinsettias. And so this will keep you busy making them for making it for a little while. But I think it would take a while, but it's super easy because there's no stamps or anything. So anyway, what do you think? I think that's really fun. I'm going to make one up and post some pictures maybe. And I'll have to look up the price because I don't remember. Or if anyone can look it up and tell us all, that would be handy. So anyway, that's the kit. Hi, Christine. That's my sister, Christine. Thank you. I had a lovely birthday. So it was my birthday yesterday. And I had a very nice day, fairly quiet. I got some lovely yellow roses from my husband and lots of cards. And I made pumpkin soup because I have book club at my house tonight. So I made pumpkin soup, and then we went out to dinner. And oh, thank you, Denise. She says belated wishes. Yeah, so we went out to dinner to a lovely place. We sat outside and have a lovely meal. And then yeah, it was a nice, and lots of cards and birthday wishes on Facebook. So yes, very nice. I felt loved. So thank you, everybody. All right, so let's get back to our box. So here's our sunflower box. So let me show you the card that I made. I'm excited to show you. I hope you like it. Here it is. So Nedra says, I love the kit. Oh, she says she bought 3 of them to make for her family. $19. Thank you. Yeah, I knew it was a bit more than the normal non-stamping kits, but cheaper than the stamping ones. So I think that's a good deal. So Nedra, you'll have to let us know what she says to make for her family. So you're going to make them up and tell us how you're going to use them. I'm kind of curious to know what you're going to do with them, how you're going to display them or give them. So yeah, let us know. So give us some ideas. Anyway, here's my card. So I thought I did a pretty good job with matching the flowers. Not perfect, but then our mask is a little bit different. But what do you think? Do you like it? Let me show you how I made it. Hi, Sherry. Lake Arrowhead. You must be away in your camper. Fun. All right, so let's put that up here. So what I used to make it was these Abundant Beauty decorative masks. Now Stampin' Up calls them masks. They're really stencils. So if I call them stencils, you'll know what I mean. And you get a whole bunch. You get, let's see, how many did you get? 7. So the sunflower ones are layering, and the others you get, and I'll have to use these in another project. You get these lovely leaves, and then you get snowflakes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody likes the card. That's great. You get snowflakes, and I have some ideas on how to use these. So I'm going to have, like I say, I'm going to have to do another project. There's this what do you call this? Houndstooth. Houndstooth, is that what you call it? Houndstooth check or something like that. And then there's the 4 sunflower ones, and they layer. So I'm going to show you how I did those. Now, when I was looking at the box, I kind of looked to see what colors were in the box to start out. So I pulled out a few colors. Excuse me. So this color in the background is kind of a really, really, excuse me, a really, really pale green. So the closest we had was soft sea foam, which I thought went, it's not really a vanilla, because here's vanilla. It's pretty close, but I went with soft sea foam. And then this could be, I pulled out copper clay. If you look on the, I think this is really close. This has a bit of an ombre effect, but I thought copper clay was really close. Cajun craze, and what's the other one that was close? Cajun craze, pecan pie are pretty close also. And then there's a couple of other different colors. There's pecan pie that I did use, I think, somewhere. And then I used soft sea foam again for the green. So it was kind of fun to figure out which colors worked. So I'm going to do the flowers first. I'll show you how I did those. So I'm going to actually pull in my, if you have a Stamparatus, if you don't have one anymore, that's fine. You can use it. I'll show you why it's kind of handy to use, but you can also just do it on a scrap of grid paper, or if you have something like a silicone mat, you can do it on this, but do it on that. But this works out really well, and I'll show you why. So these, I'm gonna use this one first, and if you can see here, they all have like a little notch here, and that makes it really easy to line them up. So they've all got the little notches, see? So you know which direction to put them. So what I'm going to do, the reason I like to use the Stamparatus is because I can put this right up into the corner, and I know it's going to stay put. But if I didn't have the Stamparatus, what you could do is you could just, in fact, I'm not actually going to use that magnet, so I'm going to put that back. You could just pick, a place on the grid paper and line it up and tape it, use a little bit of tape to hold it in place, and you'd be fine. But as I have the Stamparatus, I'm going to make use of it. So I'm going to put, now you can see here that my cardstock's a bit smaller, but that's actually going to be fine. And I'll show you why when we get to it, because I'm going to be cutting everything out. I'm just going to put, oops, helps if I take the lid off. I'm going to put a tiny bit of tape just to hold this in place, and I'm going to line that up about there, and then I'll put this over the top. Now my light is a bit annoying. Let's see what I can do about that. Maybe I can go off to the side here, or maybe off this way. Let's see, maybe I can go this. No, that doesn't help, does it? This way is better. All right, I'm going to go this way. There we go. I'll do my sponging over here. And I'll put my inks over this side. So let's get organized. I am going to take a little bit of tape. I've got this mint tape. You can use washi tape just to hold this down to be on the safe side, just like that. And then I'm using, I'll just tell you what color inks I'm using. I'm going to use for the flower, So I'm going to need soft sea foam in a little bit. I'm going to need early espresso in a little bit. Okay, and then first of all, I'm going to use Petal Pink, Cajun Craze, and Calypso Coral. So let's do Calypso Coral first. And I've got my sponges, and I'm using the little sponges, the mini ones, the mini blending brushes, I mean, because they're a little, because these flowers are fairly small. And I do have a little scrap of paper that I'm just going to tap off on. See here, if I can get everything in the camera. So I'm going to ink up in Calypso Coral first of all, and I'm going to tap off just a little bit. The nice thing is you can start off this is the part of the stencil right here, so you can start brushing here, and so you won't get a big kind of blob of ink, but I just tapped off a little bit still, and I'm just going around a little bit with the, and I don't want to go out all the way to the edge, because if you notice on the box, which you can't see right now, but there was kind of the tips of the petals were very light. So I'm just going to go around like this. More ink. Yeah, it was fun doing this card, you know, inspired by the box, and it made me think, what else can I kind of copy that I see in the stores? Or I get this catalog, it's called Ballard something or other. It's furniture and furnishings, and I always look through there and think, oh, those are lovely color combinations that I wouldn't have thought of necessarily doing. So I'm going to leave that out for a bit just in case I decide I want to add more. And I'm going to go around the edges with a little little Petal Pink. Denise says, hi Jeannie. Denise says, does it matter which side the little notch is on? I don't think it matters, Denise. I think you can do either side. If you were going to do these straight on, we're going to cut them out. But if you were going to do them straight onto a card and you wanted your flowers flipped around the other way, I think you could, or even the larger one at the bottom, I think it's fine. You can do them any way you like, whichever side. The key thing is just lining them all up the same. So yeah, I don't think it matters, but that's a really good question. So thanks for asking that. Now, if you look at the box, the petals are fairly white at the edges or the tips. So, but I need a guide to cut them out. So I'm going to go in with just a little bit of Petal Pink, just to do like a little light touch around the edge. Now, if you want to keep the petals basically just the very vanilla, what you can do, I'll show you another thing that you can do. So I'm trying to go in pretty light here. It'll still look light once I get a bit of Cajun Craze. And I'm going to take a peek underneath and see if I've got enough. So what I can do is I can lift this up carefully, and I can peek underneath, and I can see that I can see enough of the petals where I can cut them out okay. But if you wanted to keep them really pale, what you could do is you could take a pencil, let's see, you can take a pencil and you could just go lightly round the tips with a pencil like this all the way around, and then you'll have a better guide to cut them, and then you can just take an eraser and erase the pencil lines once you cut them out. So if you want to keep them really, really light on the edges, that's what you could do to help you see where the end of the petals are. All right, so I think that's good for those. I'm just going to come in with a little bit of Cajun Craze. Oops. So you all know that blending with blending brushes and stenciling is one of my favorite things to do. I love stencils, and I'm always so excited when they come out with these layering stencils because I think they're so much fun. All right, now I've got a darker brush, and I'm just going to do a little tiny bit of Cajun Craze just to make, and I think that's what makes these pop a little bit more. And I'm really just kind of brushing around on that middle circle, and just some of the Cajun Craze is going on to the, oops, that's a lot. Onto the flowers. And if it's not completely even, it's fine, because of course in nature everything's always a little bit different, isn't it? And then I can lift that up to see how I like it, and I can always go back and add, you know, more, or blend out the colors a little bit more. All right, I think that's good. Now we're going to go on to the next, I'll talk about cleaning them in a little bit. We're going to go on to the next layer, which is this layer with just the circles. So again, I'm going to find my little notch, which is up here. Just pop that in, and I'll borrow my little piece of tape. And you can see it lines up perfectly. Then I'm going to grab my, oops, I think I used the wrong, no wonder that came out dark. That's my brush for my brown ink. Oh well, never mind. I'm just going to brush some of the excess, although it doesn't really matter with the dark brown. That's what I should have done before the Cajun Craze. I think I used my brown brush, but I think it looks fine, so never mind. And I'm going to come in fairly lightly here, because we've got another layer that I'm going to do with the, also with the Early Espresso. So let's tap off on here. But I find this very kind of relaxing and fun to do. Let's see. Just maybe a touch more. I'm thinking what I could put in that box for my friend. I could put some sunflower seeds, couldn't I? I wonder if she would like to grow some sunflowers. All right, that was that layer. Now we've got one last layer for the flowers, which is this one. So again, I'm going to line the notch up in the top. See how easy this, putting it in the stamper. How many of you have a Stamparatus? I bet some of you still do. Oops. You could also use, let's see, what else could you use? Trying to think what else you could use that has like two edges like this. I was thinking of the scoring thing, but that wouldn't work because of the notches. Unless you put something, you could put something flat, like a piece of chipboard into your, if you have the scoring board, the Simply Scored, you could put a piece of chipboard, and then you could put this on top of it, and that would cover up the little ridges. So that would work too. Okay, so back in again, one last time. And again, I can kind of peek under to see if it's dark enough. I'm sure it will be. I might go in just a little bit more, actually. Denise said she loves her. I know. I was very sad when it went away. But I think they will come back. I think Stampin' Up! Will come back with another stamp positioning tool at some point. It probably will be something completely different, but I think they will, but we just don't know when. Okay, that's better. Look how pretty those are. All right, now you can, if I grab the one for the leaves, so there's one more layer for the leaves, you can see that my paper isn't big enough, my cardstock, but because I'm going to cut them out, I'm not too worried. I'm just going to, I'll just do one leaf, and then I'll, and I'm just going to put this down here. And so, like what Denise was saying, I could flip this over, and if it fits better this way, I could do that too. But I'm just going to put a leaf in here. So I'll just, you just have to be careful you don't go off the edge here onto your flowers. And I'm going to do a little bit, I'll just do one for the sake of time. but I could fit in some more around there. So let's do a bit of soft sea foam. So just be careful you don't go off this edge here onto your beautiful flowers. That would be sad. So some soft sea foam, and then I used pecan pie. Pecan pie. I probably have enough brown on my brush that I could just go in with that, but let's see if I can get, so a little bit of pecan pie. Tap tap, I want this fairly light. And just blend it a little bit with the green. There's our leaf. So you could fit, like I say, there's 3 different shapes, so you can decide which shapes you want, and add as many as you like. All right, let's put all the inks away. Now you'll be very happy to know, I know you're thinking, oh my gosh, is she going to be cutting all those out? Well, you'll be happy to know that I've got some already cut. So you won't have to sit and watch me do that. So, but let's pull this off here. Put the Stamparatus away, and my blending brushes away. So in terms of cleaning, you can just, like, you could almost just take, let's see, I have a cloth. I have like this cloth that I keep just for, you could almost just take this cloth, a dry cloth, and wipe them clean. Or you could use a damp cloth, a damp paper towel, a baby wipe. See, I do need a bit more than a cloth, and of course I've got it through. So I don't use many baby wipes, but for the convenience, I'm gonna just use a baby wipe to. And that's nice and clean. So I'll do the others later. But you just take them over to the sink and run them under the tap, you know, whatever's convenient, but they clean off really easily. All right, the next step, let's set those aside and let's do the background. So let's bring in my cardigan for you to see. So let me show how I did this background. So I used a stamp, a background stamp called Sketched Plaid. And all I did with this was, I don't even have that, I just took the backing off, and I haven't even bothered to put the, you know, the sticky pattern on the back. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take some, bring back in my soft sea foam ink pad. And again, you could do this in your Stamparatus too, but I'm just showing you another really easy way to do it. So I'm just going to ink up the nice thing about the Stamparatus is if you don't get a dark enough image the first time, you can do it again. But because this is kind of in the background, I'm not too worried. And then I've got a piece of soft sea foam, and I'll put all the measurements afterwards, but I think this is, it's some 3 and 5/8 by 4 7/8, I think, but I'll put all the measurements later. So what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to stand up here. I'm going to try and put it down fairly evenly. I can kind of use these lines as a guide. And I'm just going to put it down like this. Hi, Jude, how are you? And then I'm going to take another scrap of paper here. Let's see if I want. I'm just going to take this scrap and put it over the top, and then I can rub all around without worrying about getting ink. I see some people, if they're using grid paper, a big piece of grid paper, they'll just take the grid paper and fold it over on top, which is a great way to do it. Why did they stop selling the Stamparatus? There was a copyright issue with the another company that sells them, the Misty, and it was going to be too expensive, I think, to try and resolve it, unfortunately. So that's the background. That looks perfect. So I'll put that to one side. And then what I did to get those, in fact, let me use this here. What I did to get the lines is I just took my copper clay Stampin' Right marker. You could use a blend too. I think a blend would be fine. You could use a blend, and you could also use Cajun Craze, one of these other colors that I've used, Pecan Pie. And then I took my ruler and I just went and I used the thick end, and I just went over every other line, the soft seafoam lines. So just like this. I'll try and do it quickly. And so it's not exactly the same as the background on the box, but it kind of, it gives the same idea. The box has like a wider strip of the brown, but this is close enough. And you could do this obviously in any color combination that you liked, but I was thinking, how can I get that? I thought about masking off, and just making skinny lines, masking off and using a brush, and then I thought, no, this is going to be way easier. And use just whatever color. You could use Early Espresso here, whatever marker you have. And like I say, I think you could use blends here just fine also, if you don't have the Stampin' Right markers. And there, so that's super easy, right? So well, that's that. Okay, we're getting there. Now let's move on to the assembly. So I've got my card base. So it's going to go like this. So this is copper clay, and this is a top folding. So this is 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. And then this Very Vanilla is just a little bit bigger than the soft seafoam. So this is 3 3/4 by 5. So these are pretty, I didn't want you to have to sit and watch me fussy cut, but they are pretty easy to cut around the leaves especially. It's a bit more fiddly to do the petals, but I find it quite relaxing. But if you didn't want to do that, you could just sponge straight onto, you could maybe skip this. I don't know. I think they do look nice cut out. So I think for this one, you're gonna have to cut them out. But I have some already done. You'll be happy to know. So look at this. By the magic of television, here's my little flowers. Now, when I put them straight on here, I was like, I don't know. It's a bit kind of busy. So I decided just to soften that background a little bit. So I cut out a piece of vellum from, and this is from the Scalloped Contours. And I used this second one here. So not the one with the little holes, but this one. But you could use any, like if you have the deckled rectangles, or you could do a circle or an oval, or, whatever dies that you, or you could just cut one with your paper trimmer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to arrange the flowers on my vellum first. So I'm going to grab some dimensionals here. Let's see, Christine. Blue Peter, here's one. Yeah, we used to watch a children's show called the Blue Peter in England, and they would always say, and here's one I made earlier. They were, I don't know, it was probably live back in those days, I don't know, but they would always say, here's one I made earlier. So I'm just cutting around my little. Do you all use the edge pieces on your dimensionals? I hope you do. So how I like to do it is put the flowers on first and then tuck everything in kind of underneath. So I'm just going to do that. Let's just maybe do one more. Maybe two more. So let's put this one on first. All right, so I don't know if you can see this piece of vellum. If I bring it back in here, that's a bit easier. All right, so let's put this one on. You can put it however you like. I'll put that kind of up towards the top. And then we'll put dimensionals on these. Yeah, I kind of like this grey background. It seems to make everything pop off it a little bit, and it doesn't have anything distracting going on in the background, and I think it's going to be easy to keep clean, so I'm liking it so far. Winner, winner. All right, so I'll put this one on. We'll have this overlapping a bit and over here. And then we'll put the little one on. So I was going to show you these, I don't know if you remember, but like a couple of weeks ago, and then they were out of stock, these masks. But they are back in. You'll be happy to know if you had them on your list. So you can go ahead and order them. And I love them because they're a very low price point. I forget how much they are, but they're not that expensive at all. And there's so many different things that you can do with them. All right, so why I mounted the flowers onto the vellum first is because you don't want to have any adhesive showing around here because it shows through the vellum. But now, because I've got my flowers on, I can pop this over and grab my tape runner, which has, oh, there it is. It's done a disappearing act. So I can just put adhesive here and not worry about any showing where I don't want it. So let's pop this onto here, get rid of this now. I can just line this up in the center. And then I think I will build the rest of my card before I put my leaves on. So I'm going to put this onto my vanilla. I've seen people doing, turning these sunflowers into, like I saw a lady this morning who'd done it more as a dahlia. She had it like purple or pink. And so you basically don't do the funny dots in the middle. You just use fill in the circles. You could even use like a gel pen, like a white gel pen to put some little white dots or something like that. Or a black gel pen if you had a light background. But yeah, I've seen some other lovely color variations. So if you didn't want sunflowers, you could do the same technique, but do a completely different color scheme with pinks and purples or blues, and it would look lovely, wouldn't it? Just some ideas. Put this piece on. I flipped it over because it's not, you can't even see probably, but the back hangs slightly lower down than the front, so I always look which side I like best and flip it over if necessary. I'm sure you do the same. All right, so we're almost there. So let's see, I need some leaves. So I've got 2 big ones and then I've got 1 little one. This one here is kind of that curved one. I thought that's kind of a funny shape. I thought I'd try a little one this time. So then what you can do is we can just kind of tuck these in where we like. So I just like to put, you can either use liquid glue or glue dots or a Stampin' seal like I'm using. And then I just kind of tuck them in. So I'll tuck one in here. And I'll put this little one back here. Maybe, what angle do I want? Maybe up kind of like that. But really however you like. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get my sentiment and put that on and then put my other leaf in last. So I already did the sentiment. So this is from this stamp set. which is in the annual catalogue. It's been around a couple of years, and it's this artistically inked, and it's this happy birthday, and I really like it because it's a nice, it's fairly big and bold, but it's not too fancy. So I feel it works really well with this, and I did two because one was a little bit crooked. I think that's the one that's straight. So, and I just embossed this with white on a strip of early espresso. It's 1/2 inch wide. And then I'm just going to trim. You can use your trimmer or you can just do this by hand. And I'm going to do this like this. Oh, it's my leaf. I need that. And then I'm just going to put dimensionals on the left side because it's going to go... I'm not going to need a dimensional here because this part's popped up. So I'm going to get some mini ones. Just put them 1, 2, 3. Move that out of the way now. And I'll just pop this, and you can have it lining up the edge of the vanilla or all the way over. I think I might put it all the way over to the edge of the card this time, actually. Maybe a little bit higher. Oops. Could use tweezers here to hold it if you like. Okay, maybe like that. And then I'll put my leaf underneath. Remaining leaf, and then I just got to do my little bow, so then this can go kind of wherever you like. All right, last thing to do is, or last couple of things, is to tie some linen thread, and I just did. So if your linen thread is really curly like this, just pinch your thumb and finger together tight and just pull down on it a couple of times and it'll straighten right out. See, it's, well, almost. It's not nearly so curly. So I'm just going to take a little bit longer. I'm just going to take, whoops. Oh no, we'll come back. I'm just going to take some and double it up. See, about that much. It's probably too much, but. And then I'm just going to tie a bow. Cut through this. I can just do one smaller than the other. Oops. Like that. And then I'm just going to take a glue dot. Oops. And put it on a glue dot. Actually, I'm going to go from the, this will be right. And then I'm actually just going to put it right underneath here. Like that. And then you can just kind of arrange it a little bit. Cut these down. Can make them a little bit different lengths maybe. Maybe one a bit shorter than the other. Oops. There we go. And then the last thing to do is to add some little gems, and I'm using, these are called adhesive backed speckled dots. So this color I think is, it doesn't say the colors, but I think it's like a, maybe like a pecan. I don't know if you can see that they're speckled, but they are. So there's, I think this is crumb cake. Oh, this one is, I don't know if you can see on the pink, but it's pretty, it's kind of sparkly. This is made in Moody Mauve, and I don't know what green this is, Granny Apple Green maybe? So I used the brown ones. I thought they went nicely. So I'll put a couple of those on. Here's my take your pick tool. There we go. On there. Gold would look really pretty on here too, I think, wouldn't it? And then we'll just put one down here like that. All right. So what do you think? Let me bring out the box again so you can see. That's my box. There's the cards. Oops, they're a bit blurry. I think it's trying to focus on the box. There we go. So yeah, pretty similar. So let me know what you think, and if you think you'll maybe try this, if you have the masks, or if you have a similar flower mask, or if what colors. Thank you, Jude. Yeah, what colors you would do if you like sunflowers, or if you would try. You could do like a daisy, couldn't you, with yellow and white, Christine. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how they turned out, and it's going to make me start looking at other things for inspiration, I think, in catalogs and out and about clothes, you know, furnishings, fabrics. So anyway, yeah, hope you like that today. The decorative masks are back in stock, so that's great. My host code is up at the top. Don't forget about if you're thinking about placing an order that's around $60, don't forget about the amazing Join promotion this month. And would love to have you on my team. You can get $125 worth of products for $65 or $64.35, or you can get $168 worth of products for $99, and no shipping on either of those, just tax. So amazing deal. And like I say, we'd love to have you as part of the groovy stampers. So let me know if you have any questions about that. And yeah, so anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day, wonderful rest of the day. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, Kathy. Oh, Denise says she loves the grey tabletop. Thank you. Good. Well, I'll plan to use it again. But yeah, thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate you hanging out with me, and I'll be back next week with another project. So have a great day and see you soon. Bye, everyone.